March 9th of 06, Kurt Riggin and I filed a criminal complaint with the DOJ and with the House Homeland Security Committee because a sheriff from Washington State was now sitting on that congressional committee. Yet he had been enforcing the motor vehicle code in Washington State against travelers. And this was a criminal complaint about the fact that the law does not recognize any authority for the police, for anybody, to apply the motor vehicle code to someone using the streets as a place of travel. But it does apply the motor vehicle code to those using the streets as a place of business. 1915 to 1921, Washington State law, and never since that draft has the legislature at any time since said, we're broadening the scope of the motor vehicle code to include travelers and not just people engaged in business. So I fully briefed all this based on Kurt Riggin's work, and then there was a certain phrase in a Washington State Sessions law from 1961 in the motor vehicle code, and it stuck in my mind every time I read it. It said, public highway, any way, lane, street, road, boulevard, or other surface open as a matter of right to public vehicular travel. And I said, damned if that doesn't sound artful, because all the case law I've read, that has meaning. I typed it into Google and I got 464,000 hits. It's in the law from coast to coast that highways are open as a matter of right to public vehicular travel. And so I supplemented Kurt Riggin's findings with a bunch of my own, rebriefed everything, and wrote a 17-page racketeering criminal complaint to put on top of it, and we filed that with the government. Course number 5 is a course on how to join that complaint and then file it with a motion to dismiss into your state court to get a traffic ticket dismissed. I don't know who has success on this. The successes of which I'm aware are ones where they followed my instructions and they asked that the officer be ordered to appear the day of trial. And they put this racketeering complaint into the record with their affidavit saying, I've joined the complaint. And in their affidavit is a criminal complaint against their judge and their prosecutor saying they're racketeers just like these people, and I hereby join them to this complaint. And all that goes on the record so the judge can see he's been named as a racketeer to the federal government in an argument they can't refute, because the motor vehicle code has not been written to apply to travelers in Washington State. Knowing that we all have the right to arrest a felon with any necessary force, the judge doesn't want to become a felon in open court, but he doesn't want to just hand you a victory and say, your argument is correct. We're all racketeers. So instead, my people would go to court and they'd be called up for their hearing, probably last in the court. The prosecutor, if it was a criminal case or a civil case, the judge would then say, the officer's not here today, case dismissed. Oh, that's nice. They'd go out, they'd get in their car, start their car, and I'd tell them, hang out for a few minutes. And they do, and they notice that their cop that issued the citation walks out of the courthouse, gets in his patrol car and leaves, because they told him, we don't want you to talk to this person. You might gain some knowledge. Can't have that now. So at certain times you might get justice, but the more you're exposed to the court system, you know that the judges are not on your side, and if they had their way, they'd shred the Constitution today, and then they'd all be out of jobs. So it's like piranhas often will survive not by gobbling up other fish, but simply by nibbling their tail fins, which grow back, and so they can nibble them again later on. And that's all this is. It's a fleecing, it's underway, and if you get tough with them, they don't need the law. They'll put you in jail.